there's no way I could be able to do all of this. I really know I wouldn't be able to. So it pays dividends. It really does.
You got to serve yourself so you can serve others, man.
Yeah, starts with you.
Yep.
Yeah,
that's right, man.
Talk about your faith story.
Whew. How much time we got? How much time we got, man? So I got saved at 7.
7. Wow.
7. Kicking and screaming. Nah, not kicking and screaming. But it was my mom had talked to me that Sunday. She's like the day. She's like, it's time.
Mm-hmm.
And so maybe she saw something I didn't. I don't know. It's like I believe all my siblings and my older nieces or whatever, they're in their 30s now. They're adults. They all got saved at a young age, and I think I don't know if that's just the culture from my mom growing up. That's what they did. But anyway, I got saved at 7. So I've been in church all my life.
Okay.
And I think it's on the surface, it's a prototypical story. You grow up in church. When I hit 11, so right after basically up to 10, you got the youth program or whatever, children's church. But then when you hit 11, it's good. Now, my mom said either you're going to sing in the choir or you're going to be an usher. So I ain't doing singing. So I became an usher. And man, I served as an usher from 11 years old until I was 27, 28.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, man. I actually became the president of the usher board, which is nuts because you think ushers, you think about people in their 60s and 70s, right?
You're like a 19-year-old president.
Yeah, man. But, hit college. So I went to 3 different colleges. I went to Midlands Tech for a year, which was 13th grade, because, a whole bunch of guys in Columbia I knew from basketball went there. Then I went to USC Aiken, and I was down there for 3 semesters, and I came back to Carolina. Okay. So the time in USC Aiken, I don't want to call that my wilderness season, but it was a time where I got detached, because when I was at Midlands Tech, I was still staying with my parents, going to church every Sunday, because the philosophy was, you can go out and do what you want on Saturday night. Not that I went out clubbing or anything, but just going to hang out with my family, cousins, things like that. But on Sunday, you're going to church. Mm-hmm. So that's what I grew up with. And you commit to something, you're going to do it.
Yeah.
No matter what comes up, you're going to do it. So sure enough, man, my time at USC Aiken, my first semester, I was come home every weekend. So I'd come home, do laundry, go to church, have Sunday dinner, go back. Mm-hmm. So after that first semester, which was the fall, I started staying on campus over the weekends. So we had churches nearby in Aiken, a couple of larger churches. I might have attended 4 services during that next 2 semesters combined. Mm-hmm. So there was a detachment, and there wasn't a willingness to read the word on a regular basis. Like I get in there and read something here and there, but that's about it. Mm-hmm. So there was no consistency. So of course, when that's an opportunity to backslide, and that's exactly what happened. And that backsliddenness followed me back up to USC up here in Carolina. Even though when I got back, I was still with my parents again through college. I was working, but still at night I'd come up and hang out, USC, and when I got to the point where I was drinking. I
don't ever remember you drinking, man.
Wait. It was kind of I ain't gonna say it was a short season. I stopped drinking the day after Founders Day.
Really?
In 2006.
Okay.
I graduated in 2005, so I started drinking about 2021, something like that. So it was about 4 years. We ended up joining the church in February. I didn't know how low my expectations had gotten for God, for me.
Okay.
Like I know what God can do. I know His resume, and I can recognize what God's doing in your life. I can recognize what He's doing in that life. Mm-hmm. But in my life, my expectations was way low. Mm-hmm. I didn't realize how much my hunger for the Word had just diminished. Mm-hmm. And to put it in perspective, like, man, you talking about a guy who's a leader in the church. Mm-hmm. Like I said, I was president of the usher board for a while. I stopped being the president of the usher board because I became a deacon at my church.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, like the year after me and Carrie got married, we got on the deacon board. So we were a brand new family, and we got ordained. We got ordained, and Zoe's an arm baby.
Wow.
So we learning how to be a couple, learning how to be a parent, and at the same time trying to learn how to help all these people.
Yeah.
Trying to serve everybody at one time.
Yeah.
And in retrospect, that's a bad idea. Don't do it. That's just not the right season. That's it. It's not the right season. Yeah. So with that background coming in, is because until you experience something, you don't know you're missing it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
you know.
That's right.
So yeah, man. So City of Hope is just breathing life into us in multiple ways, man. So that's where we're at. And like I said, I mean, that's a matter of 10 months ago.
Okay. Good.
It's crazy. We've been there almost a year. That's nuts.
Yeah. That's right.
What about yourself, man?
My story's long. I've already alluded to some of it. So, preacher's kid, my dad, United Methodist minister, South Carolina, moving around the state as kids. I got one sister. So I grew up in the church. I mean, I played piano in the church. I sang on the choir. Yeah. I did it all. I got to college, and I was still going to church some in college. There was a Methodist church right off the campus, and I would just kind of find my way in there. The pastor knew me. Yeah. One day he gave me a CD to give to my dad. I was like, so it was like, casual. Get a little bit older, get out of college, and, just kind of got away from it, really. Just life happens, kids, you get busy, job, got really busy, and I got away from it. I really did. And I really found myself in a wilderness, man. I was lost. Health was a big part of it. Working countless hours, and I still work a lot now. But I really found myself kind of lost and just trying to find some direction, some guidance around the time of the fasting. So fasting, like I said, is a spiritual thing. And so around that time, I had this experience. Hard to put into words, but it was what I ended up saying was a call. I got called. My daddy got called, my granddaddy, they all got called. I never asked them about it. Yeah. But they always made clear it's not something I wanted to do. It was answering a call. So I at least knew that from their experiences. So still trying to answer the call. But when it happened, it was like I was hours a day reading the scripture. Like I was YouTube videos. And this was pandemic hit, and so everything kind of slowed down and stopped. And it was good that the pandemic was not good, number one. Timing was okay for me because it's made everybody stop. And so right out here in this garage, I mean, I just started reading. I didn't understand any of it at first. Kept reading, had this experience, was fasting. And I was like, okay, well, God, if this is where we going, then I'm gonna need some help. You're gonna have to help me out. And I've been trying to discern it, and it's been 4 years now, but I went to seminary, so I'm a year into a theology degree at Duke. Still working full time, but I've gotten really, really way into it, man. I started off in the church, grew up in the church, got away from it, found my way back, and now I'm solid in trying to be the best man of God I can be. But it's a journey, still is a journey, learning more about myself, trying to learn about God, taking it day by day. But it's a journey. But I mean, it's made me into a much better person already just in this experience, this time period. So
I got something for you, man.
All right.
So you talk about the wilderness, man. I'm gonna show you something I carry around. It's a reminder because, whenever you open your wallet, I see it, and, you got kids, so you open your wallet a whole lot. Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. So on this side, it talks about wilderness being the desert, right? The desert is a place where God strengthens the faith of his people and teaches them to depend upon him. It's also a place of testing. This will reveal your heart, humble you, and show your faith.
That's your words?
No.
Okay, where'd you get it from?
I stole it. I absolutely stole it. And I believe I stole this one from Tony Evans. I think I stole that one from Tony Evans.
Okay, but you carried it around.
Yeah, I carried it around. No, I didn't steal it. I stole the other side from Tony Evans.
Okay, what's on the other side?
Living by faith.
Okay.
Acting like it is so, even when it is not so, in order that it might be so, simply because God said so.
That's hard to do.
Yeah, that's Tony Evans. That's definitely Tony Evans.
That's good stuff, though. That's good stuff. So it's been a journey. We go to a non-denominational church. I was going to a Methodist church, trying to find my place. But it's been good, man. It's been good. And I do a lot of reading still. I'm taking a break from school. I go back in May. I'm on a new job, so I'm trying to settle the job situation. But I'm ready to go back. When I went up there, it was in the pandemic, and I it was terrifying. Why am I here? God, I can't believe you got me up here. I got a good job. Why am I here?
Yeah.
And he was like, no, we're going to do it this way. So a year into it, 9 classes, Old Testament 1, Old Testament 2, New Testament, Wesleyan theology, spiritual formation, liturgical studies, Black church studies, they put us through the ringer. But I was able to survive. I did well in the first year. Took a break, so I'm going back in May and just continuing the process, see where it goes.
That's awesome, man. That's exciting.
It is. But it's another one where had I not gotten my health,
That's right. That's right.
then no way.
Yeah.
There's no way it would have happened.
Yeah,
so.
you have to have, put it plainly, you got to have the energy to do this.
You got to have the energy.
Self-care is a big thing.
Starts with the energy.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have the energy, it's like, I spend a lot of hours out here in this garage, and there's a lot of questioning, why am I doing this to myself? But you got to have the energy. You got to have a big reason why, because it's easier to not do it. So you got to have why am I doing this? And it always goes back to your answer.
Yeah.
And it varies by person, but you got to have a good answer.
Yeah, the why is more important than the how.
Mm-hmm.
I can lay out a game plan for you from A to Z. Matter of fact, I can lay it out from A, B, and C, just 3 steps.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't have a why, you're not going to do it.
Yeah.
That's dope, man. Self-care. Can we talk about that?
Yeah.
What does self-care look like?
Self-care, you kind of alluded to it. You have to be the best version of yourself so that you can be the best for other people. So if you're not your best, then other people suffer as a result. So you kind of owe it to other people to be your best.
Mm-hmm.
And once you start to see that, it starts with me taking care of myself, being my best. I see it now. It's the fruit of the labor, because my 15-year-old, man, my girls are beautiful. And I'm like, yeah, that's part of why I did this. So I can still be,
that's right.
Still be here for them.
Yeah, you got to walk them down the aisle.
Yeah. So
right.
Taking care of yourself. And I think cleaning up the diet was a big part of self-care. And it's been a journey, because, it can be a solo thing a lot of times. Taking care of yourself. So I'm big into fasting and clean eating, water, vitamins. But it's all about being the best you so you can be the best for other people. And that's just part of it. The reading is a big part of it, the spiritual side. Spiritual discipline is something I've had to work on. For anybody who hears these words of mine and puts them into practice. So I'm all about practice.
Yeah.
So that's what the fasting. I pray every day, and I don't have it all figured out, but it's real simple. Our Father who art in heaven, according to the script. But I think all of that self-care, and it's all taking care of yourself. I get out here early in the morning before anybody else gets up, and so that I can go back in the house, and then all right, now that I got my grounding set, me and the Creator, we're aligned. I can go out and serve humanity.
Yeah.
It really is the context. What does that mean for you?
I think 2 words. I think of responsibility and obedience. Because when you take responsibility, that's something that can be recognized easily. Because it's easy to see somebody pointing the finger. You can close your eyes and just turn around and find somebody pointing the finger. Mm-hmm. So when you see somebody taking responsibility for themselves, that stands out. Yeah. And obedience as well, because obedience is doing what you know you're supposed to do anyway. Mm-hmm. Essentially, I know I need to be the best version of myself, because if I'm not the best version of myself, even spiritually, everybody connected to me suffers. Yeah. Because I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do. I'm out of alignment. Yeah. So I think of those 2 terms. Now, how does that play out? Just trying to grow every day. Growth. Yeah. 1% progress is progress. Yeah. Whether you're talking about reading a word, whether I'm talking about trying to eat the right thing today, even though it's a whole lot easier to run down there and get them French fries. Yeah. French fries. Yeah. So I believe that's kind of what it boils down to.
And it's hard on a day-to-day basis, but it adds up. It pays dividends. Somebody, I don't know who it was, gave the analogy: when you're building a wall, you don't build a wall, you lay the perfect brick.
That's right.
And every day I try to lay the perfect brick every single day.
Mm-hmm. And consistency kicks in.
Yeah.
Because it gets to a point where this is what I do.
This is what I do.
Even when I don't feel like it, this is what I do. Yeah. And even I don't want to get out of bed this morning, but this is what I do. This is what I'm supposed to do. Mm-hmm. So
That's incredible, man.
Yeah, man. How we want to close this out?
Thank you Joey Boltnight for being a friend. Thank you for being.
I gotta learn that on guitar, man. I gotta learn that.
This has been in the works for a long time. We've been friends for a long time. And I appreciate you driving up. I'm not in Columbia, so you had to make the trip to come up. And you've always been a great friend.
Sorry, man. You mind me dinner?
I'm fasting. I don't eat on Fridays.
Hey, man, ain't got nothing to do with me.
Ain't got nothing to do with me. So I'm appreciative, man.
Yeah, man.
This is all grace to me. I call it a space called grace. So I'm thankful. But what do you think?
Yeah, man. Same, man. Thank you for the opportunity, because this is a podcast is something I thought about doing. Like the seed was planted in me maybe 8 years ago. I used to watch Rich Roll. That's the first podcast I got into. And he'd do these long form conversations. Like his podcast episodes were like 2.5 hours long.
Oh wow.
And but if you sat there and you watched it, you gleaned so much from it.
Okay.
And so I was like, man, if this is helping me, if I can turn around and do something similar to that, and potentially help some other people, man, I'm all about it.
That's what it's about.
And man, I got to the point where I started even like blogging a little bit. Like, well, I was writing them. I wasn't publishing them. I was just writing them out because I wanted to get a good body of work before I start putting them out.
Mm-hmm.
Just like to be consistent.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'd done research on the cameras to get things like that, and one thing after another, just life happened. Those desires kind of fizzled out, but that seed was always there. So, man, thank you for giving me the opportunity to kind of see a harvest.
Yeah.
See years and years ago.
You gotta
man.
put it in the ground.
Yeah, that's right, man. Hopefully God will, breathe into this, as long as it's in his will, so we can bless some people through it.
Yes, sir.
That's about it, man.
All right.
Cool. Let's cut it.